Yo, what's going on, guys? You know who it is. Got my boy here, Philly Jim. I thought I was gonna be by myself today, but Philly Jim contacted me, and um, I wanted to get more people in here, but a lot of people weren't showing up. A lot of people are busy, so Jim was free. So we're here talk about the draft coming up tonight, and can't wait to see what lies ahead of tonight. So, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? All right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I really don't know where they're gonna go. I mean, they can go either way. They could stay at 21. They can move up. They could trade back if they lose all the guys that they, if they don't make it or the board shows the wrong way going down. I'm not really sure, but overall, I just want them to get that superstar, that one guy that's not just a fit with this offense, but somebody that's can literally play for any NFL team. That's the guy that I do want on this roster. You know what I mean? So. So what do you think about? So what are you thinking about just this whole thing? Just shoot it out, whatever's on your mind. Just here. Mm.
I think it's worth it. But if not, if teams are asking for King's ransom in order for you to get up there to 13, 12, 14, whatever pick you're going to move up for, then you might as well just chill at 21 and take Justin Jefferson, take Jalen Rager. Both of these guys are really good. I would I would settle for them at 21 if all else fails with trying to trade up.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. Like, I definitely San Francisco has been on my mind to be one of those trade up teams because they don't have the second, third, fourth, fifth round, whatever. They really don't have any much picks in this draft. So especially so I don't know at this point what we could do. I mean, I think there's a lot. I think free agency and trades really did help this team
Mm-hmm.
because the Panthers getting a receiver, Arizona trading for a receiver. I think it really did help us like a lot. So I'm actually waiting on something else right now that I saw last night. I don't know if you saw it, but Jaguars might be trading Yannick Ngakwe to the Raiders, but The
Yeah,
Jags want their 12th overall, but the Raiders don't want to give up the 12th overall. Now, if the Jags are able to get that 12th overall, then maybe something could happen. Maybe it would probably help us out a little bit more.
I agree because I think the Raiders are the biggest obstacle in our way. I just said that I think the first receiver is going to come off the board, but if you take the Raiders out of this equation, then they're the team that stands in the way of you having your pick of whatever receiver you want if you do trade up.
Right.
Because I'm not sure if the Jaguars would be taking a wide receiver at that pick. They have DJ Chark, who was a Pro Bowler last year, so that's not really like a pressing need. They have a lot. That team is pretty much in shambles. So let's say they do acquire the 12th pick. I don't see them taking CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs right there. So in that scenario, if you get to the 13th pick, then I think you're in a situation where you can take whatever receiver you want. You really can. But the Raiders, for now, they are the team that stands in our way the most. So if you really want to get to a point where you can have your own pick, you either have to trade for that pick from the Raiders, the 12th pick, or you have to get a pick that's before then. Otherwise, you're going to have to trade up to 13 and then take whoever they don't. That's the way I pretty much see it.
Yeah, you pretty much got to be in the top 10 to draft Lamb, right? I mean, pretty much. You pretty much got to be between 7 to what? To 7 to 12, maybe?
I actually don't think Lamb's going to go in the top 10. I think the reason why is because I think teams are going to be taking quarterbacks. I think the Chargers
Offensive tackles.
Herbert.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of offensive linemen off the board. So after the Jets pick, I have the Jets taking an offensive tackle as well. Once they get to 12, I think it's going to go Lamb to the Raiders, and then 49ers, if they stay there, they're going to probably take Jeudy or Ruggs, and then the Denver's going to take whoever they don't. So it's going to be 12. I'll just go off the top of my head, 12 Lamb, 13 Ruggs, 15 Jeudy to the Broncos. So you could still be in a good spot if you get that 13th pick, because you could either have your pick of Jeudy or Ruggs, or if the Raiders would rather take one of the other two, then you could get Lamb, and it is what it is. But I would say the Raiders are the biggest obstacle in the way of the Eagles potentially getting the receiver that they really want.
So I want to just say, so Gangrene David, Jets fan, if you guys haven't subscribed to him, if you guys have not, says that Lamb could fall to them at 11. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I definitely think that. I definitely think he'll be there at 11. It depends on what Joe Douglas wants to do. But, I had them taking the offensive lineman from Louisville at 11. I think that's what they'll do, but what do I know? He could go off the board at 11, or someone else. It could be a receiver that we're not even thinking of. Most people think Lamb is going to be the first one off the board, but that may not be the case. Ruggs may be the first one off the board because people are obsessed with the Kansas City Chiefs have made people obsessed with that speed receiver like that Tyreek Hill. And I think a lot of teams see Tyreek Hill and Henry Ruggs, which is why I think it's possible that Henry Ruggs, even though he's not necessarily the best receiver, he could be first off the board just because teams think he could have an effect like Tyreek Hill has on a defense. Or Jeudy could go because people love the way Jeudy can run routes. He's outstanding with his route running. So a lot of people actually think Jeudy is better than Lamb.
Right.
I kind of disagree slightly, but still, you don't know what's going to happen there. But the Jets could take a receiver. They really could. But if I know Joe Douglas the way I think I know him, I think he's going to take a tackle.
Yeah, it that might be the case. I'm just hoping that they don't take receiver. But so if you just to acquire Jerry Jeudy, do you think that we'd have to move? What if we moved up to pick 15? Do you think we were in reach of Jerry Jeudy at that point?
That's not something I can 100% say yes or no to, but I would lean more on the side of yes. because this is the way I see it playing out. I think I'll say this. I think Ruggs is going before Judy.
Mm,
Whether Ruggs is the first or the second one taken. I either see the Raiders taking him or I see the 49ers taking him. And
yeah.
then 14th overall pick is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to take a lineman because their offensive line is terrible.
Right.
So they're going to take one there. And then at 15, but the Broncos also desperately want a receiver, so the Broncos probably won't be willing to give away the 15th overall pick unless you give them like a shit ton of compensation,
Right. Right.
probably more than you want to give up. That's why I think the 49ers are like the best team that you could trade up for.
Yeah.
But I have been reading something about Jerry Jeudy, and I don't know if you saw it, but people have been saying that there's something wrong with his knees and that could cause him to fall in the draft. But his agent came out. This is why the situation is so weird. His agent came out and said that the report is false, that he had the knee injury 2 years ago. And, he's fine now. He's healthy. And that's why he was balling at Alabama for the last 2 years. And then on top of that, Adam Schefter was on a radio station and he said, yes, Jerry Judy's knee still has lingering problems and teams are concerned about it.
Yeah.
So for all we know, some shit could go down. And let's say the Broncos take Justin Jefferson at 15
Right.
and they pass on Judy. Then Judy is going to fall.
Right.
Then we may not have to trade up, but 2 or 3 picks. It probably won't cost that much to get him at that point. Or in the best case scenario, he falls all the way to 21.
Yeah, no, I 100%. You're right on that. I think if Judy gets past the Broncos pick, I think he's ours. Honestly, if he moves down, I have a feeling Justin Jefferson's going to go a little early for some weird reason. I just have that gut feeling that he is going to go early. But
yeah,
what about the Eagles changing their mind? So you're saying maybe if Ruggs, CD, Judy, and maybe Justin Jefferson are out of reach, they either could draft Jalen Reagor at 21, or they can, or they're just gonna trade, or they might go after a different position. Because I've been getting, it's been crazy. Like between some other positions being, not safety or anything like that, because that was before like we when we re-signed Jalen Mills to switch his position and stuff. But
right.
I think linebackers is a huge issue with this team right now. Like Jatavis Brown is not promising, but he's going to prove himself. Nathan Gary's a serviceable backup. A nice number 2, whatever. But
Still got T.J. Edwards on the team.
T.J. Edwards, yeah, and flashes. You know what I mean. So we'll see how he does. And Doug's pretty high on him going to this year in 2020. But what about linebackers like Kenneth Murray or Patrick Queen? Those 2 names have been rumored to get drafted at 21 as well. So I don't know what you think about that.
Here's the thing. Let's say we are in this scenario where CD off the board, Judy off the board, Ruggs off the board, Jefferson off the board. At this point, I'm either gonna trade back and get more picks, or I'm taking Reagor at 21. I like Kenneth Murray and I like Patrick Queen, and I definitely think we do need a linebacker. But I think the drop off between, let's say the drop off between Reagor and KJ Hamler, for example, I think that's a bigger drop off than some of these other linebackers that are going to be available in the second round. Like you got the guy from Wyoming. He's been turning a lot of heads. You can get value at the linebacker position, even in the 4th round, as late as the 4th round. There are some linebackers that I think are flying under the radar that aren't getting that much attention. Evan Weaver from California is another one. Oregon has a good linebacker that's coming out. There's some guys that you could go get later on but in this scenario, you trade back to like 28th, 29th overall pick in the first round. And even if Rager's off the board, you can get a guy like Brandon Ayuk with that pick, and then you could possibly stockpile a few extra picks in second or third rounds, and then you can just keep adding more pieces that you will need. And I think you can get some really good value that way.
Yeah, no, I think if you get some guys maybe the second, third round that fit a lot better, I think there's just other positions in this draft where the Eagles. I just think there's other positions in this draft where there's between wide receiver and offensive line and so many other positions. I think you'll get that linebacker maybe the second, third round. You never know who's going to fall, so I think they could find somebody that fits in the system as well. So it's not to cut everybody off, but if you guys haven't subscribed to Philly Jim on Twitter, down below. If you guys have not subscribed to his YouTube channel as well, every bit of content, hard video baker, works very hard on what he does. So really do appreciate that. If you could support him on the channel as well. If you guys haven't liked this video, please like it. Push the content out there. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. We're going to be doing a lot more. There's going to be some highlight videos and some other things, and a reaction of the pick tonight if you guys haven't. So stay tuned if you guys haven't subbed. And actually, I didn't read this. Vladimir Vincent sent two super chats early. I got into it too much. So Vladimir Vincent, thank you for the 2 super chats earlier today. Donations and super chats are available to upgrade this channel a lot more. So do appreciate that. So. Yeah, this is exciting because it's not just our team. I just want to see where everybody falls. Like that's like I just want to see. I try not to believe anything. I put out videos that are more speculation. Everything's speculation. That's why I like the draft, but I hate the draft. I hate before the draft because everything that leads up to it is like a big smoke
you can't
screen.
Believe anything
you know what I mean?
You hear before the draft. That's why a couple weeks ago. People know how long that I've been supporting the CeeDee Lamb bandwagon, but when they came out and said, he's the apple of Howie Roseman's eye and all this and that, I'm like, listen, guys, this is the stuff that comes out every year. Every year there's a player that, the Eagles love so-and-so. I think last year it was another Oklahoma receiver, Marquise Brown, who was teammates with CeeDee. And then the year before that, they loved Darius Geis, who apparently had like a confrontation with Deuce Staley in a draft meeting, and they loved Dalvin Cook and
Reuben Foster and fucking
the shit comes out every year, so you got to be careful before you get get your hopes up too high that you're gonna that those reports are true. They could be true. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would also be careful.
Right.
Because if I know Howie Roseman the way I know him, I don't think he would want everyone to know that CeeDee Lamb or Henry Ruggs, those are his guys. He would want people to think those are his guys so he can go get his actual guy, whoever that may be.
Right.
For all we know, we have no idea who it is.
Yeah, because I really don't see them trading back. I think there's going to be enough in this. I think there's enough prospects. I think there's a good 4, maybe 5 that they could draft, whether they stay at 21 or move up. But, I mean, everyone thinks the furthest he could move up is maybe 5 spots, maybe. But you never really know. I mean, they could work out a deal. I mean, there might be teams that you think that are going to pick at their pick, but maybe they decide to move back just because, you never really know.
Yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing. This is something that also happens during the draft. A team will be sitting at their pick. And I know this because I've seen it happen to the Eagles a lot of times. They'll be sitting at their pick and they'll say, all right, we got our eyes on this guy. He's dropping later than we think he is. We're just gonna sit here and we're gonna take him. A lot of teams are like, they see their guy that's dropping to him, and then all of a sudden, bam, team 1 slot, 2 slots above them, they take their player, and then their draft board is completely fucked.
Yeah.
And then they just don't know, like they don't know what to do, so they're just like, you know what, I give up. I'm trading out, and then they trade out. So this is something that could go down in the draft too, so gotta keep your eyes on stuff like that.
Gangrene David sends a super chat. Thank you very much. He says, "Is this stream for anyone to join? Great channel." I mean, yeah, we're probably gonna have people join a little bit if you're still around. I know you're doing a stream later with all the Jet YouTubers. You guys have a big day too. So yeah, we're gonna have people join a little bit. So 62 people in here. Thank you everybody for coming in today. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I was gonna do a stream during the draft, but just gonna relax today and watch the draft, do a reaction, stuff like that. But kind of just want to have a relaxing day. I've been working like constantly, so just gonna chill out for the day.
Let me see. I saw a comment that I wanted to address. So they asked, someone chimed in and asked, "Do you guys think that Alshon Jeffrey is getting traded during the draft?"
God.
There was another report. There was another report about him from Peter King from Sports Illustrated,
right.
And he said that he had Alshon Jeffrey as one of his most likely players to get traded. Well, you got to think of it this way. Every time there's been a report about Alshon Jeffrey, like nothing has happened.
No.
Like nothing has happened, even though supposedly they've been trying to trade him since last season, since like October, since like early of the 2019 season. They've been trying to get rid of him. Yeah. And the problem is nobody really wants him. So if nobody wants him, then unfortunately you're just going to be stuck with him. But you're also going to be in sort of a pickle here if you draft one or two receivers in this draft. Let's say you draft two receivers. Let's say you draft Rieger and Ayuk, or you draft Rieger and Hamler or somebody, for example, in the first and second round.
Okay.
Then you're stuck in a situation where you have your two rookies, you have JJ Arcega-Whiteside, you have Deshaun Jackson, and then you have Alshon Jeffrey. So and Greg Ward. So you have six receivers on your team, maybe seven if they add somebody after the draft. So at that point, someone has to be the odd man out. So are they going to trade J.J. Arcega-Whiteside after 1 year, or are they going to get rid of Alshon Jeffrey, even if they eat the cap hit after June 1st? I don't know. And is there a team that would even want him or take his contract? He's slow.
I doubt it.
His play has declined. He's been getting injured more. Do teams really want that? And I would have to say no. So I would lean on the side of it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see anyone trading for Alshon. I just don't see it with a wide receiver heavy draft. Why is someone going to trade unless it's like a dump? Unless we're trying to dump him. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, the CBA got approved. So what happens is that 26 million, if we release him, turns into 16, and then what happens in that 16, you can split it up into 2 or 3 years. So the dead cap hit will be a lot less. So I understand why they want to do it now, but with a wide receiver heavy draft, like this guy's hurt, this guy's not going to have an offseason, this guy's not going to be training with any team that he's with, this guy's not going to be even starting the first game of the season, he's probably not going to be here for at least 2-3 weeks, who knows at this point.
Right.
So I really don't know where they can go with this. Like unless it's going to be like one of those Brock Osweiler trades where they trade a mid-round pick and like him, and then they ship him somewhere, you know what I mean? Then I can understand that, but I don't know if Peter King's trying to get some hits on his page or whatnot, but it just seems like it's impossible. Like I just don't see it. Like I really don't. If they do it, I'll be like stunned. Like I'll flip out. Like literally.
I would have to agree with you. It's going to be really hard to move him, given all the circumstances of his contract, his decline in his play, and he has an injury history other than that Lisk-Frank injury that he has.
Yeah.
But injuries are piling up for him. He's slowing down. Like he just doesn't have the fire and desire anymore. So it makes it harder to move on from him, especially when literally nobody wants him.
No, he's not fast.
Does he do anything
well? No.
Exactly.
He doesn't.
So we may just be stuck with it.
But seriously, what does he do?
If he has to rot on the bench when we draft 2 rookie receivers, then he has to rot on the bench. It is what it is. I think that might actually be a good thing for him because he'll actually become humble and not think he's this big time diva receiver who can, call out the quarterback anonymously and get away with it. Sitting behind 2 or 3 rookies or two rookies and Greg Ward, watching them get all the snaps while you rot on the bench, that'll teach Alshon a lesson. So he won't be acting the same way when he goes to his next team. So if we got to keep him, we got to keep him. It is what it is. We'll have to find a way around it. But if we could get someone to take him, I would be all for it. But it just doesn't seem very likely.
Yeah, no, I just said to myself before, what does he do? What does Alshon Jeffrey do? I don't know what he does. He's not fast. He's got his 50-50 balls are good. His contested catches are good, but I mean we need we need more than that. But Big Moose sent a super chat, says gotta get Wentz legit weapons. Howie, it's on you.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Couldn't say it any clearer than that. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, when I saw that Peter King thing, I obviously I liked his pick in Henry Ruggs, but other than that, with trading Alshon Jeffrey, I just, like you said, like he's actually, his information isn't bad because he's actually had us like. He knows, like, who's going to be available, like, when we pick for some reason, that he was right about even when Hollywood Brown was available, when we could have drafted him. But unfortunately, I mean, it's not really unfortunate because I really wasn't mad about it because I know we needed a left tackle of the future. I mean, you don't draft a guy in the first round. I just didn't like the Eagles had treated this horribly because the favoritism of the veteran guys, over the young guys, and not even that, but you draft a left tackle in the first round and you don't even start him the first year. I mean, it's just, I understand why they did it.
Because they were playing favorites with Jason Peters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why it was kind of crazy. So, at this point, the one thing I'm definitely sure of is that they're not trading back. That's I think that's definite. I mean, hopefully you could agree because I don't think they're moving out of the first.
I mean, yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I think a lot would have to happen for them to trade back. I think it's a lot more likely they trade up. I think there's probably like a 40% chance that they trade up, and I think there's probably a 50% chance that they stay at 21, and then I think there's a 10% chance that they trade back.
So, if you're moving up in this draft, are you moving up, giving away that second round pick for this year, or you're like, no, we need that second round pick?
I mean, if I can get Lamb or Judy, then yes, I am going to give up that pick. And, it's not the end of the world if we give up 53 because we have 3/4, we have 5th, we have a 3rd. So if you want to trade back up into the second round, you can trade back up into the second round. It's not that much of a problem.
Yeah.
You can also, another option for trading up is you can also dip into next year.
Right.
You can dip into next year because we had free agents that we lost. We lost Timmy Jernigan, Big V, among a lot of other guys. We're gonna get compensatory picks for them, so we're gonna have 10+ picks next year.
Mm-hmm.
And with these 1 year deals, that's what happens. You either bring in a guy on a proven deal and he balls out and he gets an extension, and you have a piece on your team for a few years, or if it doesn't work out, he leaves, you get a compensatory pick for him going to another team the following year. And as a result, you stockpile more draft picks to the point where you have 10, 11 picks almost every year.
Yep.
So if you trade away a third you may be in a situation where you're going to have 2/3 anyway. Like this year, we had 2/3 and we traded one of them in the deal that got us Darius Slay. I
Right.
can just use that as an example. So, I mean, you can also dip into next year if you have to, but I don't think it would be the end of the world if we did trade the 53rd pick. And if we do trade it, I think we can easily get back into the second round if there's another piece that we want to go ahead and get.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think they'll definitely dip in the next year. Like you said, we got rid of the extra third and the extra fifth for the Darius Slade trade, but we went into this. We're like, oh, we got 10 picks. We're like, we're not gonna have 10 picks. We're like, that's definitely not gonna happen. We're gonna have like, I knew they were gonna get rid of a pick or two. We're like, there was no way they're gonna hold on to all those picks, of course, but they had no choice. I thought we would have gave up a lot more for Slay, but it's not bad for what we're getting back
I
for
thought
it.
we may. I was afraid we were going to end up having to give up our second round pick in this
Yeah, right.
Slade deal, but when we didn't, I was very pleased by that. It was a good move because we already had 2 third-round picks, so essentially we gave up a 5th-round pick and we got Slay. So it was really a great move by Howie Roseman. Probably his best move of the offseason so far.
Okay, so I see that the Eagles from SB Nation says Eagles among teams who have shown most interest in trading for Trent Williams. Why? so Pro Football Talk.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this about that page. That page has zero credibility.
I know they
That
don't.
is the same. That is the same page that reported that the Eagles wanted to trade Andre Dillard and they wanted to bring Jason Peters back for this year. That's the same page that did that. So anything they put out, I don't buy it because it's just a bunch of bullshit.
That just makes no sense.
Yeah, Trent, no, not gonna happen. Also, the Redskins would try to hose us.
Oh hell yeah!
Since we're in the NFC East, so why in the hell would we allow them to do that? No, that's not gonna happen.
No. Because I think Mike Garofalo tweeted back out and said that there's zero proof of this or something like that. I just read it before.
Yeah,
But
I didn't even have to.
That makes no sense.
You don't gotta tell me twice. I already knew that.
So I think I think I saw Corey Clement. I guess he was on yesterday. I think it was with one of the beat writers from Philadelphia. That there's a chance that he might come back. He was upset that he got released. Unfortunately, he's been hurt ever since Super Bowl year. But I know we're looking for that bruiser back. Are they gonna take their chance? I don't think they're gonna draft a running back in this draft. I mean, I highly doubt it. I mean, Elijah Holyfield. I don't think so either. I think they should take a young. They should not only look at our team. Say if Elijah Holyfield doesn't work out, they can look at other teams on practice squads. Someone that's big that can get through people. Maybe somebody that they could pick off of somebody on waivers or something like that, and try to see if they can get someone like that. Unfortunately, Jordan Howard, got paid, went to the Miami Dolphins, and he'll be definitely sorely missed. So. Bruiser back is pretty important. We have 2 backs that could, catch the ball out of the backfield, and Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, and they could do a lot more than that. And you know what I mean? And go out for passes, and Boston Scott's good in open space, like a little Darren Sproles 2.0 out there.
Yeah.
And Miles Sanders, what I love about him as he's developed last year was he's become like he's in the passing game, which he's been so effective. So if you're able to get a weapon in the first round right now. I mean, with what you have on the field of staying, and then, once we get this roster together, the next thing is, can we stay healthy? That's going to be the next part of this whole thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, with Miles Sanders, a lot of people talk about his feet, and he can juke people, and he's got the jump cut ability, and he can catch passes, and he's really fast. But I can tell you something about Miles Sanders that I don't think he gets enough credit for. There's a lot of plays you can go back and watch from last year. Like this guy's
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to lower his shoulder and like he's not afraid to take the
Oh,
contact.
hell
And
no.
he's not afraid to dish out a little bit of punishment to a linebacker that's coming down to try to tackle him or defensive back or whoever's coming up to try to tackle him. He's not scared to try to run you over. And I think he's been working out a lot this offseason with Saquon, his friend from Penn State. They've been working out a lot together. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out if Miles Sanders put on like 5 pounds of muscle, got a little bit bigger heading into this season. I think Miles Sanders really showed what he could do in the later part of the year when push came to shove, when it was time to ball.
Mm-hmm.
He had big time runs when it mattered the most. In that Redskins game, he had that long run. He caught that bullet in the back of the
Oh
end
man, that
zone
was a
from
great,
Carson Wentz.
great pass.
Uh, he made so many big plays down the stretch, and I think with him leading the way, I think he's on his way to having a Pro Bowl caliber season. So I think I think you would be doing a disservice to the team if you went out and drafted a running back in the second or third round just because you want to have another LeGarrette Blunt on your team
Right.
again, like in 2017. So with Elijah Holyfield, we don't need Elijah Holyfield to be Jordan Howard. We don't need him to be LeGarrette Blunt. We don't need him to be Jerome Bettis or somebody like that. We just need him to run forward and get 3 or 4 yards every play at certain points in the game. We don't need him to like explode for like a 70-yard touchdown. We don't need him to do anything crazy.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even need to be
Push the pile
fast.
forward.
He doesn't even
push the pile forward,
right.
And that's all you got to do. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, they can handle the rest of the work.
Right.
So that's why that's why I think it would be a waste of time. So with the other needs we have on this team, we need to get better depth on the offense at the offensive line.
I know badly.
We need to draft a linebacker.
Yeah.
We need wide receivers. We need a lot more things more than we need a power back. A lot of people are obsessed with AJ Dillon from Boston College. He's like 250 pounds and he's 6'3", and like people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's massive," and I'm like, "Yeah, but we don't need it." Like Miles Sanders could be a feature back. He can carry most of the workload himself.
He can.
With Boston Scott helping out, chipping in here and there, and then Elijah Holyfield. We just need him on third and short, like third and goal from the one. Just that big body of his bulldozing people into the end zone. They're like, that's all we need him to do. We don't need him to do anything spectacular, anything special.
Let's see here. 91 people in the chat, guys. If you guys have not, please subscribe to Philly Jim's Twitter. Subscribe to his Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to Philly Jim's YouTube channel. Please, to God, follow him. Sub him up. The guy deserves all support. Really does. And if you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, guys. We're going to be doing a lot more here next coming days. Draft day, night starts tonight. And there's probably one thing that I don't want them to do in this draft. You could probably maybe guess. There's one position that I hope they don't draft. Okay?
Corner?
No. Do not draft a quarterback in this damn draft. I swear to God. I don't care if it's a 6th round. Don't, because we wasted on Clayton Thorson. We wasted that pick so bad. And
yeah, that was a huge waste.
Oh my God! Now he's a Dallas Cowboy.
There's not really any good quarterbacks in this draft anyway. I mean, I think after Burrow and Tua, I don't think any of the other quarterbacks are any good.
No, I don't either.
I don't think Jordan Love is any good. Jalen Hurts, like all these other dudes. So I just don't see anything special in any of these quarterbacks anyway. But it would be a waste of time to take a running back, a quarterback, even a corner. I don't even think we need to take a corner in this draft. Right now, we have too many corners on the team, which is why I think one of these guys could be shipped during the draft. We
Rasul.
could use one of these dudes to move up. The 49ers apparently wanted Rasul Douglas, and they were unable to work out a deal. They tried to send us Matt Breida, which we do not need a running back, like I said. Um, and the Eagles didn't turn it down. They didn't want Matt Breida. They wanted, I think they wanted Dante Pettis, one of their wide receivers. And the 49ers, they just couldn't agree to that deal. But hell, if you can use Rasul and some other picks to move up to 13, then I'm all for it.
Right.
Sidney Jones could be also moved. A lot of people don't want to trade Sidney Jones, and a lot of people think he still has a lot of upside. And other teams may think he has upside, which is why you could also use him. Young player, upside, put him in a new system with a new kind of defense.
Right.
Maybe he can do something better than he did in Philadelphia. So, I would trade either one of those two. I would prefer that we keep Avante Maddox and keep Cravon LeBlanc over those. If you're telling me that we have to trade one of these guys, I'm trading Rasul. My second choice is Sidney Jones.
Right. Yeah. I agree on some point of that. Like at the same time, I'm like I just want more bodies. Like I don't know. Like I feel like we need more bodies in there. I don't know if Avante Max is going to move to the outside. I have no idea. Opposite of Darius Slay, I don't know. I mean, I don't see them getting a corner in the first round, of course, but I mean to bring an extra body in here, I don't know. Maybe they'll get a corner like later. Even at safety, either, because you know what? Like, just because Jalen Mills is moving to safety is not promising really much of anything. It's not really promising much. They're going to give him the opportunity, but if he can't take it, then I don't know what's going to happen because I'm really hoping to God. I know at LSU he played safety, whatever, going back to his roots. I'm not saying that, he's going to fit back into it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not going to know what to do or anything like that, but I guess that's why we re-signed McLeod back, which I'm happy they signed him
Right.
back. In the beginning, I was like, oh, of course they re-signed him, and then getting Jalen, moving Jalen Mills, which I think that was a really good decision. Not keeping him at corner, of course. Changed his number, like a new era, new position, new era for his career. So I'm hoping he could do
Yeah.
something with it. You know what I mean? And see how he does in open space on the back end, giving some corners some help. Or I mean, you're not going to give Darius Slay any help, but yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens. But I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm looking at linebacker. I'm looking at
Right.
offensive line depth, um, and we'll just see what happens. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Right. And you forgot to mention Will Parks, the guy
Right.
that we picked up from the Broncos. He's from Philly, has Philly roots. He's very excited to be here. He loves Doug Peterson. He likes the whole Philly culture, and he's got a high motor, and he's not afraid to lay a big, booming hit on you either. So I'm really excited to see what he can do because it's like I always say about Jim Schwartz. For you to be a part of this defense, you got to be able to play more positions, and sometimes you got to be able to go outside of your comfort zone. That's why with Malcolm Jenkins, they use him all over the field. They use Brandon Graham. They move him inside sometimes. They let him rush on the edge. Like
Mm-hmm.
they like guys that can move around, and Will Parks is one of those guys who can move around too. So overall, the moves that we made in the secondary kind of gives me the vibe that we don't really need to take a bunch of defensive backs in this draft.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
signing Roby Coleman as well.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so I just don't think that we need to do too much with this secondary. If we drafted a corner, I'd be like, okay, but I don't know. I don't really think we necessarily need a corner that much. Especially, in fact, right now I just think we have too many. I think one of these guys is going to have to be the odd man out.
Yeah, definitely some competition. That's why Rasul Douglas definitely on the trade block, seeing if they can move him. I mean, you're only saving I think you're only saving like 2 million, not even like 1.5 million, something like that. So it's not much you're saving.
Right.
You're not saving much, but at the same time, like there's going to be way too many bodies in this room. You know, Roby Coleman coming in here, Darius Slay coming in here, which Darius Slay is, you know, he's putting all the pressure on himself, which I like. You know what I mean? Like they're, you know, I'm glad that Jim Schwartz is actually going to have some toys to play with this defense because, I mean, you look at Jalen Mills,
Yeah.
like, look, he's not the best, he's not the worst, but for what, a 6th, 7th round pick, whatever, it's really not that bad. He's bad at times, but he's really not that bad. You know what I mean?
I gotta give Jim Schwartz a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. You know, the last few years that he's had so many injuries on the defense that it's insane. And the only really like superstar player that he's had that can wreck a game plan is Fletcher Cox.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a lot of guys that are decent, average guys. We got some guys that are really good players like Brandon Graham, really productive dudes. We had Jenkins for a while, you know, but everyone else has pretty much been average at best. You know, we've had the Ronald Darbys of the world, you know, getting torched by Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley for 200 yards. You know, and every time we go up against a number one wide receiver, we're getting absolutely torched. But in the end, we still find a way to hold these teams in the red zone and hold them to field goals. And you know, at the end of the day, if we lose those games, it's not Jim Schwartz's fault. It's the offense's fault for not having enough talent around Carson Wentz and not being able to have the playmakers he needs to put points up on the board so we can win games. You know, Jim Schwartz and this defense are holding people to 20 points. You know, I'm sorry, but if you can't score more than 20 points, then there's a huge problem.
Right. Not even that, but when Carson Wentz is extending plays, it wasn't even Wentz just not finding somebody on the field, but like even like Brian Baldinger was put up some videos of the Eagles wide receiver core running their routes. Like the route combinations made no sense. Like this is why we had to get rid of the wide receiver coach and Carson Walsh. Because like I don't know what the hell they were doing, but the route combinations were horrible. We had no speed. I mean, every speed guy that we've gotten rid of, like Shelton Gibson. We never gave him a chance. He catch a ball and then he's off the field. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside catches a ball, he's off the field. I just don't get that. I don't get why they do that. They don't keep the hot hand hot inside the game. You know what I mean? Like that's what frustrated me the most. Now I don't hate J.J., but at the same time, I just kind of have nothing more. I'm just kind of run out of gas with him. I'm not really sure. I honestly think we picked the wrong receiver. That's just me. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. You know, even with Sidney Jones as well. You know, Sidney Jones came in, made a few good plays. Okay. But has he consistently been in the game to where he's going to cover and not get beat? No, of course not.
I actually read something about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside the other day, and it was from last year. It was a story about the whole how teams do stuff in their draft room and stuff like that. So the Eagles wanted Nicole Hardman, the wide receiver from Georgia that plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Really fast, explosive dude. The Chiefs took him the slot before us, and as far as DK Metcalf, they had like a red flag on him for injuries. So that's why they didn't want him. So by default, JJ was like the next dude on their board. And it really, I did think that was kind of interesting that they wanted Hardman, but he went to the Chiefs.
What about, I'm trying to figure something out. What do you have for, other than him being injured all the time, what do you think? I mean, do you think Jordan Mailata has a good chance to be a future tackle with us? Or a guard, or whatever you think he could be?
I have to see it. I have no idea. I have to see it first because at this point, this is going to be the year he gets this opportunity because he's going to probably be taking over for Big V's role as a swing tackle. And he's going to actually have to play if Lane Johnson gets hurt, which he has. He has actually had quite a few injuries, and he has missed time over the last few seasons. So he's going to get his chance, but, you know, as far as everything else, he was dominating in preseason.
Right.
Against, like, all these smaller guys. Well, not smaller guys, but preseason, like, backup guys.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he was throwing them around and stuff, and you're like, wow, you know, this is a big-ass dude out here, maybe he can actually play this position for us. Um, but the jury is still out. I need to see. What he can actually do against NFL starters when it's time for him to do that.
Yeah, because he was manhandling those preseason games. He was manhandling them defensive ends and linebackers. Oh my god! I mean, his hands are so powerful. If he could transition his way into the NFL. I mean, at 6'8", 350 pounds. I mean,
Yeah, he's humongous.
it's ridiculous, and he's got a little bit of quickness with his feet. But thank God Jeff Stallet is here. Getting a whole brand new offensive, the running game coordinators and Stout. I think it's Stoutland and Deuce, and then you have all the offensive assistants around Doug. Which I like that Doug is putting a lot more pressure on himself this year. So he's going to have all those 6, 7 offensive assistants that are around him, which is a good thing. Mike Rowe is gone. That was the first of business that had to get done, which it did.
Mm-hmm.
So thank friggin' God. We saw the 2 guys we wanted out here the most were gone. So that was a relief, and Howie and Jeffrey Lurie put a stop to that. So I was happy with that. So pretty much new corner coach, a new offensive coaching staff to start out the season, which I'm excited for as well. So I mean, it's even what's bad about it? Like Mike Rowe is here, but you know what? Our wide receiver, he went to the Colts as a wide receiver coach. We didn't even put him as a wide receiver coach. I mean, they wanted him gone. I mean, they wanted him out of the building. I mean, they didn't even just move him.
Rightfully so.
It's just, you know what I mean? They must have really wanted him gone. I mean, I'm just glad it happened. So,
according to as I recall, Doug Peterson wanted to keep Mike Rowe, but Jeffrey Lurie was like, "Nuh-uh." And then the next day he was fired.
Right.
So I think that says something about Jeffrey Lurie. He actually cares about his team, unlike other owners who let their coaches and GMs do whatever the hell they want. For example, the Texans giving Bill O'Brien all that fucking control. And you see where the Texans are heading. They're already in Texas, but they're heading further south thanks to him. So, but Jeffrey Lurie, he stepped in and he was like, "Look, we got to get rid of this guy. He's a clown. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He should have never gotten this job. He's fired. He's done. We're gonna get new coaches in here."
Yeah,
and I think it's gonna work out.
So a little bit of extra news right now. So NFL Update has put that the Raiders are not going to be trading for Yannick Ngakoue. They're kicking in the tires on that deal, so nothing is going to happen. Raiders probably Jags probably wanted too much, so Raiders are going to be picking at 12 and 19. And Kyle Murray is still wanting the Cardinals to draft CeeDee Lamb. Still.
Not gonna happen. If they draft CeeDee Lamb, he's gonna be running for his life the whole season. They absolutely have to take offensive linemen with that pick. They have Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk. It would make absolutely no fucking sense to take CeeDee Lamb with that pick.
If they didn't have Larry Fitz, then I would say okay, then yeah, but I'm not really feeling it. I mean, just because he wants it doesn't mean anything, of course, but it doesn't mean he's going to get drafted there. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Of course, he wants to play with him because that's his boy. He played college football with him. So yeah, of course I understand why he's doing it, but the Cardinals are not going to do that. The Cardinals know, they got to give this guy some protection. He was the most sacked quarterback in the league last year. So they're going to have to do something about that if they want to expect the Cardinals to compete in a really good division. You got the Seahawks and the 49ers in that division. So you got to be able to slow down Joey Bosa and those good pass rushers that they have in the NFC West. Aaron Donald with the Rams. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that they got to deal with in that division, and they're going to have to start with getting some protection up front.
Yeah, your quarterback's not going to have a long career with that. I mean, look at guys like Andrew Luck. Look at Robert Griffin. These are guys that were handicapped or can't, have these offensive lines. Like they have these good wide receivers, but don't have these offensive lines to protect them, and they got to throw the ball like real quick. So, Kyle Murray's not the biggest guy either. I can't imagine him taking a big hit. He could be running and scrambling like a little munchkin all around the backfield, but damn, he gets hit that one time, and it ain't going to look good. It's not going to be good at all. So, let's see here. Okay, I just saw something before. I'm kind of like seeing the updates, what's going on. So I'm kind of I'm kind of doing some stuff. So 110 people in here, guys. If you guys haven't followed Philly Jib on Twitter, follow Philly Jib down here. Just follow the links down here. Follow us on Twitter. Really do appreciate it. And follow, actually subscribe to Philly Jib's YouTube channel. Just Philly Jib. You'll find him easily on there. YouTube, Eagles YouTuber just like me, covering pretty much almost everything, draft and everything else that's been going on. Like this video, guys. You guys haven't liked the video, push the content out there and like this video. And subscribe if you guys have it. Really do appreciate every bit of support that I do get from everybody. Everyone's been really awesome in the chats, been reading everybody's stuff. So really do appreciate everybody being in here today. So what's your biggest fear of what's going to happen? So what inside you has made you worry about tonight? Like, what's the one thing that worries you about this whole thing that's going on tonight?
The biggest thing that worries me about tonight is the fact that the team has really been asking Miles Sanders a lot of questions about his former teammates from Penn State. One of them being KJ Hamler. And of course, Miles Sanders is going to say good things about his boy KJ Hamler. So I'm worried that it's going to get to the point where they take KJ Hamler over Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, and these other receivers that are much, 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 much better than Hamler, simply due to the fact that, Miles Sanders is our guy and we really value his opinion and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I'm really concerned about.
Yeah. I think Adam Schefter today, I watched, I guess he was talking about Kenneth Murray and saying that a lot of teams aren't seeing him as a linebacker. A lot of teams are thinking he could play other positions like edge rusher and safety, which is kind of crazy. So there's a lot of teams out there right now on Kenneth Murray that think that he could play more than linebacker, which is pretty cool. I mean, but now that's going to suck for him because now it's like, where is he going to fit on what team and what do they want him to do? So
kind of like Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. So I really don't know. Linebacker's probably the one thing. Am I going to hate it if they draft a linebacker in the first round? No, because we need one badly. But at the same time, I want our guy. Like, it's time. Like, this is the perfect draft. Like, you cannot screw it. If I hear a different name I've never heard of, if I hear like a different name I've never even heard of, and like you said, like the KJ Hamler thing with the second round, like I really hope that doesn't happen. Not saying I hate KJ Hamler, but we definitely could draft someone better than KJ Hamler in the first round. I mean, I don't know. I can't. I don't know. This is gonna be something today.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What about Cesar Ruiz, the center from Michigan?
Right.
What would you do if the Eagles drafted him at 21 and they passed on?
I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. I mean, I don't know where this guy's going to land, but I'm telling you right now, like, the Eagles have had multiple video chats with him. So I know that they're interested in him, but if Cesar Ruiz ends up an Eagle somehow, some way in this draft, Jason Kelsey's going to be here for like one more year. I think he's got 2 more years left. I could be wrong, but I think Jason Kelsey will be gone after a year. If they draft him, that's going to be our starting center of the future, and he's the best center in the draft. So at 21, oh no, I'll be pissed. I'll be
I will.
really pissed.
I have to agree with you. I think we can wait until next year to draft a center,
Yeah.
or I also think we could. I think we could draft a center in a later round. Uh, there's another one that I like, Matt Hennessy from Temple. He's very similar to Jason Kelsey in his, he's kind of like one of those undersized guys. He's got same similar build, good athlete, good at getting down the field and stuff, good footwork, uh, and all of that. So, I think it would be smarter to take a guy like that in a second round, third round, than it would to take Cesar Ruiz, because there's going to be a huge drop off if you pass on a Jefferson or a Rieger and a Yuck, and then you get to the second round and you're stuck with the KJ Hamlers of the world. Um, if you know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. Is Rieger going to go out of the first round?
I would be shocked if he did. Because I also think Minnesota's going to take a receiver.
Right.
I also think Packers are going to take a receiver. The Packers are looking at Denzel Mims. They're looking at Rieger and T. Higgins. They want a receiver to pair with Devontae Adams. So Aaron Rodgers can have another target to throw the ball to. So I would be very surprised if he did. And if he falls like super late, I think a team like the Colts that really needs a wide receiver will probably try to trade back up into the first round and get him. But if he is available in the second round, I think something is very wrong with that picture if that's the way it goes down.
Yeah, unless there's something that we don't know that he's moving down so much. If that even happens, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if obviously there was a smokescreen about the meniscus surgery that Jerry Jeudy got, but it really doesn't matter.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's the guy that we take at 21.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be shocked at all. My gut tells me. Well, yeah, my gut tells me it's Rieger. My heart tells me we're gonna take Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
But my gut says we're going to take Rieger because Rieger is like, he has so much explosive ability and speed, and he can take a top off of defense. And just imagine having Rieger on the field, on one side of the field, and Deshaun Jackson on the other side of the field. That's like a lot of speed that you got to deal with. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, even Rieger's tracking of the football while maintaining his speed is probably the most impressive. But is KJ better in open space than Rieger? With the ball in his hands.
That's pretty tough. But I would lean on the side of no. I think both are both have explosive playmaking ability, but Rieger, I think Rieger is actually neck and neck with Henry Ruggs as far as you get the ball into open space, you're not going to catch this guy. That's what he will do to your defense. He's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare to game plan for an offense that has a Deshaun Jackson and a Jalen Rieger that you got to go up against, because that's two guys that can totally unload and take the top off your defense in a split second.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rieger has grown on me over the past couple months. He really has. Just his playmaking ability and he can actually contest catches as well. He jumps really high. He's got really good acrobatic skills. Athleticism is off the charts as well. So I'm really
he had a pretty good vertical at the combine as I recall.
Yeah, but really grown on me. Yeah, he's pretty good. Let's see here. Brandon Ayuk, man, he just had pectoral surgery.
I like him a lot too.
Even with surgery?
Yeah, I mean that surgery makes you stronger at that part of your body. Deshaun Jackson had the same surgery, and the doctor told him he's going to be stronger than he's ever been in his career. So that's why Deshaun Jackson is all like he's all like, I don't know if you've been following his social media stuff, but the whole offseason, like he's been really pissed off, about people saying he's too old, he always gets hurt, and blah 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 blah. Like he says he's going to come back stronger than ever,
Yeah.
and he's going to prove everybody wrong. So I think a yoke with the surgery, I don't think it's a big deal. I think who's the other receiver? Chenault. I think he had
Yeah.
some kind of a surgery too. Uh, he had something going on at the combine, and that's why his 40-yard dash was pretty bad. So I don't think it's a huge deal. I really like Ayuk. I don't like him as much as Rieger and Jefferson, but I think the guys can be really good, and you can use him. You can use him on special teams. He can go deep. You can use him on those reverse type of plays, the end arounds and jet sweeps and things like that. Uh, kind of a versatile guy that I think is getting slept on because of the other good guys in this draft. But he'd probably be a top 5 receiver in most draft classes. He'd probably be a first round pick. If this was last year or year before.
Yeah, a lot of people, even with the Ayuk everything. So I always ask people, like, are you still drafting him, even though he had surgery? But it's not like the Sidney Jones injury either, where it's not an
Right, it's
Achilles,
totally different.
it's not an Achilles, not a torn ACL, it's not anything like that. So it's not bad. And Laviska Shenault, I saw a video of him. I guess someone taped him, I guess, running routes and looking like he's 100%. So. I think he's doing it. I think he had core muscle surgery. I think that's what he had, if I could remember. So really do. I don't know. Like I like him. I like him for. I think he's fast for his size. I think he's physical. I think his route running is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many guys. It's just so many of them. It's like it's hard to. All right. Do you think the Eagles are taking 2 receivers in this draft?
If they trade up, no.
Hmm.
If they stay at 21, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because if they trade up to if they trade up to like 21, I mean if they trade up from 21 to 13, then they're probably going to be getting rid of their second round pick. They could still take a receiver in the third round. Like one dude that I kind of like that I think will be there when we pick in the third round, kind of being slept on a little bit. Van Jefferson from the University of Florida.
Right.
He runs really good. He runs really good routes. Almost as good as Judy. He's probably the best route runner in SEC besides Judy. And I think he would be a steal when we pick in the third round. But other than that, if we trade up, I don't know. I don't think if we trade up, I think we would have to give up more than we probably would have to give up more to the point where we wouldn't be able to pair CeeDee Lamb with another impact receiver. We could probably still get a decent guy in the third round, but you're not going to be able to get a guy like Ayuk in the second round, or Chenault, or Hamler, or somebody like that.
Yeah. No. I think they can definitely get some value in the mid rounds. Definitely, it just depends if they do move up, depending what they're giving up. You know what I mean? I really want if they can move up and keep that second round pick intact, that would be fantastic. I'd be happy as hell because the second round is very, very important.
It's like I
Especially
said
with how
earlier.
deep it is.
It's like I said earlier. I would be more than willing to give up picks for next year. Okay? Because if you tell me right now, even if I give my first for next year, if you tell me right now that Deshaun Jackson can stay healthy, and you give me CeeDee Lamb in this offense, and you have Ertz and Goddard and Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, and a very much improved defense, I expect us to be pretty damn good. I expect us to be one of the top teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
All right. And I expect us to be able to go on a decent playoff run.
Right.
So if I'm giving up a pick that's like mid to late 20s to get that on my team, you can have it. You know, like I'll send it in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll do express shipping. I'll express mail
Overnight,
that
overnight,
pick for next year,
overnight
the first
shipping.
round pick. Overnight, you like, I'll get it to you in an hour. You know that pick for next year because I think we're going to be really damn good. I think the team's improved tremendously on the defensive side of the
Oh
ball,
yeah.
and if you get Judy or Lamb and you put them with Deshaun Jackson,
Mm.
and you got all these weapons, and you got Goddard, and you got Ertz, and you got Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. It's a lot of firepower, and the defense is way better. Just the moves we made in the secondary, and signing Javon Hargrave.
Mm.
So we're now three. We're now like four deep at D tackle because we still got Malik Jackson and the other guy that we traded for last year, Hassan Ridgeway. You know, so we just got to depend on Derek Barnett to actually produce something for
Right.
once in his life since we picked him with the top 15 pick. Brandon Graham is still going to bring it every year. Even though he's getting older, he's still being very productive. He's showing that he can get it done out there as an edge rusher too. So our linebackers are really the biggest problem on our defense. But other than that, I think we have a pretty damn good football team, and I think getting a top wide receiver in this draft could potentially put us over the top. Even though there's other good teams in the NFC like San Francisco and Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are seeing what Tampa Bay did yesterday. I'm not buying the hype yet. I'm not
No.
buying the Tampa Bay hype yet. Tampa Bay is loaded with their skill positions. They have the best tight end duo besides the one that we have. They have Godwin and Evans, you know, so they got a lot of damn weapons. But you know what they don't have that we have? Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, Andre Dillard. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't have any good offensive linemen. So if you are loaded with skill positions, but your offensive line is terrible, you're in trouble. And that's just kind of the way it is with that. So, but back to what I was saying, if we get a top flight receiver in this draft, it's gonna be a problem. So that's why I would be more than willing to give up the 2021 first round pick in a deal. If
Yeah.
we
No.
will keep all our picks intact for this year, that would be the absolute best case scenario.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, really. I mean, you're literally a few pieces away, like you said. The defense, this free agency was all about defense. It was, and we picked up, which I didn't expect to make to sign Javon Hargrave as one of the most underrated defensive tackles, well, nose tackles
Mm-hmm.
technically in the league, and made him the sixth highest paid defensive tackle now. So. You know, and you still got Malik Jackson still there. I mean, it's just you know what I mean. Like, I think after this year, Malik Jackson's gone. I think they try to get something out of him. I think Malik Jackson will be gone unless they want to keep him for his last year of his deal. I'm not sure, or they want to either trade him or they could let him go for amount of cap space. I don't know what they could get for it. But Jannard Avery at defensive end as well. We don't know what's going to go on because he could play outside linebacker as well as defensive end since the Browns ran a different defense. But this is going to be really interesting today. It really is, really is. So, 113 people in here right now. If you guys haven't followed us on Twitter down below, check that out real quick. Subscribe to Philly Jibs YouTube channel if you guys haven't. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Really do appreciate it because we're going to be going over a lot more stuff. Don't know if I'm going to be could be streaming tomorrow in the afternoon on the second pick tomorrow, but don't know yet. So we're just going to go over today because today's the day where we got to get a playmaker. And I don't want. I want the best. I want the best player in this draft. I mean, I do. I don't want to get a guy that's going to fit this off. Like, oh, he fits with the offense, or he fits with a certain player on the other side, or I don't want that. I want that guy. I mean, that's what I want. I'm just happy that it's here. Today is the day. It's here. You know what I mean? I'm just happy. Like I don't mind free agency too much, leading up to free agency, but when it's like the draft. It is the most. It's to me, it's stressful, but at the same time, it's exciting. So it's you get a mix. You know what I mean of what's going on, but. Philadelphia Eagles Brian Cruz says Odell Beckham. I don't know why he keeps saying that. He says that all the time.
Well,
he says it all the
we're
time.
not gonna. We can't really get Odell Beckham, and the reason why is because of his contract and our cap situation heading into next year.
Yeah.
Like Carson Wentz's cap number this year, Carson Wentz is like the 17th highest cap hit among NFL quarterbacks. Next year, his cap number is like going up to like $33-34 million. So, that's going to make things harder. And then Fletcher Cox has a big contract. Ertz has a big contract. We got a few guys that have some pretty big contracts on our team. So that makes it kind of a no bueno to bring in OBJ. So that's why it's probably not going to happen. Also, I can either get OBJ with this big contract, or I could trade up and get one of these studs and have him on a rookie deal for 4 or 5 years. I don't know about you, but I would go with the latter right there.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I can't. I just want. What time does the draft start? What time?
8:00.
Thank
Eastern.
God. I hope we trade up. So the suspense isn't killing us, because if I see these players go one by one, it's like CD, enter. I'm like, oh no, what are we doing? That's what's going to happen. All right, so would you take this trade right now? So would you trade Andre Dillard to the Jets for their pick? Fuck. Come on.
Damn.
Come on, man. You're on the clock now. What are you doing?
I would do it.
Oh, really?
It's a tough call, but
Jason Peters, come on back.
come on back.
You know that would happen, right? You know he would be back in like a heartbeat. He'd be signed the next day. Like literally that night he'll be signed.
That's exactly what would happen. I would do it.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's just such a key position, because you know what? I think I would probably do it just because I know that we would sign Jason Peters back. But it's like they didn't sign Jason Peters because they wanted to get younger and they wanted to move back.
But next year we would have to take a left tackle and possibly a center in the same draft.
Right.
But if it was just Andre straight up for the 11th pick, yeah, I mean, then that would mean we keep 21. Am I wrong? Is it 21 and Andre for
yes.
the 11th, or is it straight up Andre?
No, it's technically, it's 21 and Andre, obviously.
I would still probably do it.
No, if we were able to keep have 2 first-round picks, and yeah, I'd be like, yep, sure, here, pretty much.
That's why I wish we could. That's why I wish we could trade Ertz for a first.
Good.
I really do, man.
Good for for Big V, man. Good for him. He got $10 million a year. I mean, good for him. I mean, I can't really complain about when he left. I was like, he deserved it. He did.
Yeah, he
deserved
it. He played well for us.
It's just unfortunate, but you know what I mean? Like, he didn't miss a beat.
Big V really didn't get the appreciation from the Eagles fans while he was here, man. Anytime Lane Johnson got hurt or Jason Peters got hurt, he would always step in and he would be serviceable and he would do enough to get the job done. The Super Bowl year, he played outstanding. The other years, he didn't play as great as he did Super Bowl year 2017, but he played serviceable, and he did enough to get the job done. And people didn't really notice that as much, but I definitely noticed it. And yeah, I was happy for Big V to be able to get an opportunity to start somewhere. He definitely deserves it. We had the luxury of having, like a starting caliber offensive lineman on our bench. So if Jason Peters or Lane Johnson goes down, then we have a guy that can step in and get it done. So
Right.
yeah, Big V definitely didn't get the appreciation I thought he deserved. Well, the guy's a good player.
Jerry Jones has asked the scouting department not to disturb him during tonight's draft. This shit I'm reading is so funny. It is.
Yeah, I read about that this morning. He's apparently doing the draft like all by himself,
Oh God.
and he doesn't want anybody to like tell him what to do. Because a lot of times people have been telling him what to do. Like a few years ago, they wanted to take Johnny Manziel, but then like Stephen Jones and the other front office people were like, "No, bro, you can't take him. Blah blah blah. He's gonna be a bust." In 2016, he wanted Paxton Lynch and Connor Cook in the first round instead of not in the first round, but he wanted them over Dak Prescott. And then the scouting department was like, "Nah, bro, like you can't do that." So this might be the year that he royally messes everything up.
So this is from Logan Banker from NFL and saying unconfirmed rumor that the Eagles are trying to move up to the Jets pick at 11 overall. That would get them right in range for one Lamb, Judy, or Ruggs. This is because Rich Simony said if the Jets lose out on 4 offensive tackles to their pick, then they have to make a decision if they're going to draft a wide receiver at 11 and see if that happens because God, they'd be so stupid to go. They would be so stupid to go for receiver. It would just be dumb to do that. I don't know. That's just me though, because you can't go in free agency and pay like offensive linemen every year because it's so expensive. You know what I mean? It's so expensive to do that.
Right.
Offensive tackles cost a fortune, bro. Thank God, like
they got to get him a premium tackle in this draft. It
makes no
doesn't make any
sense.
sense.
It's like
I mean, they can't. They don't need. I mean, I think they definitely need a wide receiver, but they don't need a wide receiver more than they need an offensive tackle. Even the Raiders. I have a problem with the Raiders wanting a wide receiver so bad because I said this on my live stream last night. The Raiders need corners and safeties a lot more than they need a wide receiver. Let me explain what the Raiders are trying to do. The Raiders see Kansas City in their division. They see Patrick Mahomes. They see Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and like all those weapons. So John Gruden is saying, all right, we need to get enough guys that we can outscore them. You can't outscore them. You have to try to get them into a lower scoring game. Hence, you need corners with speed that can run with Tyreek Hill and safeties that can match up with the Travis Kelce's of the world. That is the only way you can close the gap on Kansas City in your division. You can't close the gap by, we're going to draft wide receiver every single round so we have enough weapons that we can match Kansas City weapons. You can't do it because you have Derek Carr. They have Patrick Mahomes.
right.
You can't match that no matter who you put around Derek Carr. It's not going to work. So the best chance you have is you take a receiver like not necessarily a bad receiver, but a receiver that's probably a tier lower than CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. And they have like the 19th overall pick, I think. So at that point, you can get Denzel Mims, you can get Justin Jefferson, Rager, any of those guys. And if you take CJ Henderson at 12, it makes a lot more sense because he has the speed that he could run with Tyreek Hill. And you're in a much better spot than you would be if you take one of those receivers and then you take a lesser corner who doesn't necessarily have the same frontline speed as CJ Henderson has. It makes more sense. So the Raiders are just, I don't know what they're doing, but if they were smarter, they would be addressing the secondary, not addressing the receiver. It's the only way they can close the gap on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, there's a lot of reports coming out right now saying that the Eagles could be in talks of that 11th overall and actually giving the Jets Rasul Douglas as well. But you're saving a few million in cap, a couple million in cap, plus a Jason Peters return.
I wouldn't be surprised because Howie Roseman and Joe Douglas, they have a relationship with each other.
I know.
And it's like, Joe Douglas likes a lot of the dudes that are on this team. He helped draft a lot of the dudes that were on this team. So I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna make things very interesting.
Uh-oh.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside is Joe Douglas's guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he was Howie Roseman's guy. Because when I read that thing I was telling you about earlier, they said that there was somebody with clout in the room that helped Howie Roseman make the decision on what receiver they were going to take. So my guess it was Joe Douglas. And Joe Douglas, he values college production over overall talent.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of situation we were in when we passed on DK Metcalf there. So, would you trade him to the Jets in a deal that would help us move up?
Yo, Gangrene David's freaking out. He's like, no. You better hope. That's all I got to say, because our GMs are real tight. You better hope. Yeah, well, both of our teams have done some...
Arcega-Whiteside. Hold on, let me finish. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, 21st overall pick, 3rd round pick this year. We get 11th. Done deal.
I do it in a fucking heartbeat. I don't give a crap about the 3rd round pick right now. I care less about it.
It's a done deal. Might as well consider it done. JJ, he is Joe Douglas's boy. He is Joe's boy. Rasul is also one of his boys. Sydney's one of his boys. Hell, I'll give you both of them. Hot Dog Dave don't want JJ. You don't want Hot Dog JJ coming to the Big Apple.
The Big Apple. Oh my God. I would laugh.
Hot Dog JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Going to the Hot Dog Jets.
Hot Dog Arcega-Whiteside. Gangrene David would be pissed.
Oh my God. I know he would. but he's acting like the Jets haven't done any dumb decisions. I mean, the Eagles have done some stupid shit too.
Sam Darnold really needs a reliable target.
Of course he does.
Watch JJ go to the Jets though.
I don't think they don't have enough at wide receiver anyway. They overpaid Perriman. Perriman got too much money. Just played 5 games, but still, I didn't think he was going to cost that much money.
Well, the Panthers didn't pay him that much. It wasn't that much.
No, I'm talking about Perriman.
Rashawn Perriman? Oh, I forgot they signed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had Crowder, and Crowder's like he was like their most. I think Crowder was their most reliable, but I mean,
imagine that lethal offense with Le'Veon Bell, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Rashad Perriman. Lighting up scoreboards in the AFC East.
Oh my god.
Lighting up scoreboards in the AFC East.
I'll vomit. He's like, I'll vomit. I would too. I would.
Yeah,
I'll vomit with happiness. I'll vomit in happiness.
If the Eagles traded JJ and it helped them get to the 11th overall pick, I would be so. I would actually laugh. I would be so excited that it would be so funny.
You're gonna eat a hot dog and laugh while you're doing it.
I'm gonna go to
the hot dog stand.
I'm gonna start a hot dog segment on my channel where once a week I try a hot dog, give a review on the hot dog, and talk about the world of sports. But I call it the Oscar Mayer Wiener Podcast.
Oh man, I wonder. It's like, but it's not like surprising where it's like you see the Eagles talking to the Jets. It's not surprising. So it's not like it should be surprised to anybody with them too.
I wonder if another option is we could give another guy a call who used to work with us, Andrew Berry with Cleveland.
Right.
I think that's also an option.
That's another fucking plus. It's another plus.
Who else are teams that we?
I mean, they're good friends. I mean, they get along with John Lynch as well from San Francisco.
Oh yeah, I remember the year we won the Super Bowl. He was having a conversation with Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
They were like talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and Carson Wentz. They were like, "Oh yeah, sometimes you just got to go up and get your guy and blah blah blah." We'll see.
106 people in here, guys. Really do appreciate everybody being in here today. If you guys haven't followed me and Philly Jim on Twitter, follow us on Twitter down below. And actually subscribe to Philly Jim's YouTube channel. Does the same thing I do. Eagles vid maker, works very hard at what he does. Do appreciate it. If you guys haven't liked this video, like this video. Push this content out there. Put a thumbs up.
One thumbs up equals one J.J. Arcega-Whiteside hot dog to the New York Jets.
Yes. If you want the Eagles to trade up for the Jets pick, like this video. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel as well, we'll be covering more of the draft and all the prospects, highlight videos, reaction coming tonight, and everything else like that, so do appreciate it. We're going to piss some people off. If this happens, I'm going to... Oh, man. I'm telling you.
Gangrene David is going to be pissed.
He's going to be pissed. He's going to be fucked. He's going to turn into a different person off camera. He's going to be... There will be holes in his walls. He's going to be covered.
Mad as hell.
He's going to be covering those walls with covering those holes with jet flags. What he's going to be doing.
Fire Joe Douglas.
Yeah. Joe Douglas couldn't do anything last year anyway because of when McCagnon screwed up the draft and the free agency, and he just walks in and says, "Oh yeah, what moves am I supposed to make when all these guys got like $125 million in guaranteed money?" All these guys that were signed.
Joe Douglas should have waited and took the Texans job. It would have been a much better situation.
Gangrene David says, I have a trade for Philly Jim. I'll offer 2 hot dogs and Vincent Smith for a 6th-round pick.
I'll take it. Sounds like a pretty good meal to me. But I'm not going out. I don't want to get the coronavirus, so please send it via DoorDash ASAP.
ASAP. Nitro Freak says, let's get our guy. Shout out to Nitro Freak. If you guys haven't, he's doing a stream today. I forgot what time he's doing it, so check out Nitro Freak's channel on the new podcast that he has. I've actually really enjoyed it. It's very entertaining.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. Really there you go. Yes.
Nitro Freak is a big Jalen Rieger fan too. That's who he wants at 21.
Yep. I don't blame him.
I'm with it too. I like Rieger.
All right. This is going to be, let's see here. It's too early in the day. There's probably, I wonder, I don't know what they're going to do. There's going to be so much crap just coming out. Why are people so against? Why are people so against trading Rasul Douglas? Like, I don't get that. Like, what? Why? Like, why are people like so against trading him?
Because fans are idiots and they get all emotionally attached to players that suck. Oh well, I like Rasul. He's the homie, and I'm like.
He's the homie.
Eagles fans are like, you're so cringy at times. In fact, most of the time they are when it comes to this shit. But yeah, Rasul Douglas, he's actually really bad and really slow. And
yeah,
he gets beat a lot. Like a lot. So teams should be, fans should be happy to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
He sucks. When you get rid of a player on your team that sucks, for example, Nelson Aguilar, you automatically make that position group better. Therefore, we didn't sign any receivers. We haven't added any receivers until now. Until the draft tonight, we're probably going to add one. But just by getting rid of Nelson Aguilar alone, we are better at the wide receiver position than we were last year. Automatically. If we get rid of Rasul Douglas, we are better. Just by getting rid of Ronald Darby. Forget trading for Darius Slay and all the other moves we made.
Yeah.
Automatically better. Get rid of Rasul. Automatically better.
So we have a super chat from Philly Talk Podcast. Thank you for the support, bro. He says final thoughts. What would you do with the first? Also, what would you think the Eagles will do? So, Jim, you can start off. What would you do, and what do you think the Eagles will do?
Here's what I would do. I would trade 53 and 21 to the 49ers for the 13th overall pick, and I would take whatever receiver the Raiders don't take. Whether it's Lamb, Judy, probably Lamb or Judy. I'm probably not moving up that high just for Ruggs, just because I don't think there's a huge gap between Ruggs and Rieger. But what do I think the Eagles are going to do? I think the Eagles are going to do their damnedest to get a trade done with somebody. But it may not happen. And if it doesn't happen, then we're going to stay at 21. And we're going to take Rieger or Jefferson.
Right.
Which won't be bad either.
All right. So I definitely want CeeDee Lamb in this draft. But I think the Eagles are either going to take a chance to move up to get to go get CeeDee Lamb. If they know they can get a trade done, they'll go do it. If not, I still think they're going to move up a few spots and at least try to get one of the top 4 guys at least. I mean, if Ruggs and Judy are gone, I think they'll try to get at least Judy if all else fails. But I think they're going to move up regardless. But I think it's CD or nothing. I thought Ruggs was pretty much the prime target. I think he still is a target, but I think CD is like their main focus on trying to get in the top 10, the top at least through picks 7 through 12. I think they'll try to go and get something done. I mean, that's what I have right now. So
CD for the TD.
CD. Oh, that's gonna be great to say. It's gonna be great to say that. Or otherwise, I'll take Jalen Reagor at 21. Honestly, I will.
I'm down with it.
I'll take him at 21. I'm happy with that. I'll be excited as hell for that.
Trying to think of anything else that's been going on.
Oh, people are making videos. Andre Doe's getting traded. I'm like, no, he's probably not. Sorry, I just saw something. Somebody
Breaking news. Breaking news. AJ Arcega-Whiteside, Rasul Douglas, 21st overall pick, and the draft rights to Ronald Darby's contract have been traded to New York Jets in exchange for the 11th overall pick.
So glad Ronald
Draft
Darby's
rights
gone.
to Ronald Darby.
Thank God Ronald Darby's gone.
Oh my God.
He needs a job, bro. He had no choice. What's he gonna do? You'd go to whatever team. Like if you had no interest at all, which he probably didn't. The Redskins always sign fucking. They always sign these fucking players that don't pan out. I just hope he doesn't play well.
He won't.
I'm hoping not.
Their secondary is pretty bad, bro.
Who they got in the back end?
When
Who
you
are their
look at it-
safeties?
They have Landon Collins.
Oh, I forgot.
Landon Collins is like the worst covering safety in the league.
Yeah, he is.
He's basically a small linebacker. He's good around the line of scrimmage. He's good at run support, but he will get straight up. He will get lit up by any good tight end, wide receiver. Doesn't matter. Running backs will eat him up.
So
He can't cover.
No, I know that. I mean, he's a great blitzer. I mean, he is great at blitzing, but I mean, for $80-something million, I'm like, no, not at all.
Yes, but if you play in a division where you have really good receivers and running backs, like Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield, Miles Sanders coming out of the backfield, Ezekiel Elliott,
Right.
you got wide receivers, you got like Amari Cooper, you got Deshaun Jackson. Like, you don't pay a safety that specializes in blitzing when you have to deal with all those things in your division. It makes no sense. But the Redskins are just that kind of an organization that makes moves like that.
Yeah, because when we played them, I didn't really even notice Landon Collins at all. Like, I didn't even, like, see him. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't even, like he was, like, noticed. You know, I didn't really didn't cross my mind, honestly. So, Birds Nation 302 with the super chat. Thank you, bro. Do appreciate it. He asked, how would you feel about an edge rusher in the first?
I would be pissed. I would be pissed,
Oh, God.
angry, upset, frustrated, pissed, frustrated, angry, pissed, frustrated, and angry.
You said that. You said that already.
Did I say it?
I think you
Well, I think I
did.
got my point across.
So Waylon Sembley says 2000. All right, so you trade your 2021 first, Rasul Douglas, Alshon Jeffrey, and JJ for the 9th overall pick and Yannick.
Done. Done.
Yeah, it's pretty much a done deal.
You didn't even need to tell me what I was getting back. You just said Rasul, Alshon, gone, done.
Oh my God, bro! I swear, dude. Like the that's not good. It's not good right now. There's more shit coming out. Like,
What if something goes down before the draft?
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what they're doing now, because I think they're honestly doing that now. I think that's what's going on. Or they're trying to get something done. Either they're going to get the deal done before the draft, or they're going to get it done but wait during the draft to get it done so they don't get screwed and get jumped in front of. They might do that as well. man, some people are gonna be fucking pissed. If we get a pass rusher, oh my god. Pass rusher. Defensive end. Jamokomo Shinokomo. Shinokomo out of middle of nowhere, USA.
Well, this guy has really good feet, explosive off the line of scrimmage. Can get to the backfield real fast.
He's been hurt every year, but
Philadelphia Eagles.
He's been hurt every year, but he's a great player. 3 torn ACLs and still playing. No.
If this guy didn't tear both of his ACLs, both of his Achilles, both of his elbows, and he didn't have a spinal injury, he would have been a top 5 pick in the draft.
Oh my god! Imagine that'd be so. I don't even know, dude. I'd be.
That's what they said about Josh Sweat when we drafted him. They were like, "Oh, this dude had like a million injuries, but if he wouldn't have got injured, he would have been like top 10 pick."
Yeah. He got a lot better though. He got a lot better.
Yeah, because
most of the time he was on the damn ground as rookie in like his maybe a second year, but he's actually gotten a lot better. Like if someone else like disrupts for him, like he could work the pass rush a little bit. He could work that edge a little bit. He's not fantastic. He's not amazing, but I think a serviceable backup. You know what I mean? I think so. You know what I mean? So. We'll see.
Sweat has been outperforming Jadeveon Clowney. He had more sacks than Jadeveon last year.
See, Rashad Dennis says Rasul Douglas sucks. I would trade him in a heartbeat. Thank you.
Oh, I got a question. What would you guys do if we signed Jadeveon Clowney after the draft?
No. Nah, I don't think so. That guy still wants a lot of money. He went from like, I'm gonna go down from 20 to 17.
No, dude, he turned down like 17 million a year from the Dolphins.
Oh, then he's an idiot.
And that's why he still hasn't been signed.
He's an idiot. I don't know what he thinks he's worth.
He's not gonna get more than that. He might get like 13 or 14 the most. I'm not even sure if he'll get that though. He may have just royally fucked himself. Sounds like karma to me for that dirty ass hit.
So Adam Kaplan tweets out, Jets are open to moving down as I understand it, but so are a lot of other teams. Number 21 to 11 is a bit steep. If the wide receiver they want goes to around, let's say, 17, 18, I could see them trying to do something. Eagles would prefer holding on to those 8 picks and get more. But, and it says ... I
don't really trust Adam Kaplan that much.
No, I don't either.
I don't know why.
I didn't trust him during free agency either because he was wrong on every fucking thing.
Everyone overreacts to everything he says, and I don't know. I just don't think he's that good of a reporter. So everything he says, it's like, well, the Eagles probably aren't trading up and blah, blah, blah.
But why do they act like, all right, so we're not trading from the 30th overall. So, like, why are everyone thinking that it's impossible to trade from 21 all the way up to whatever? Like, why is it that impossible? Like, that's what I just don't get.
Look at what the Steelers did last year. The Steelers had the 20th pick and the Broncos had the 10th pick, and the Steelers went from 20 to 10 and they got Devin Bush. They drafted Ryan Shazier, who had the brutal back injury.
Right.
So when that happened, their linebacker core was completely fucked. So they were like, all right, we have to do something about this. So we're going to go get the best linebacker in the draft. They traded up. They got Devin Bush. So then we're in the same position the Steelers were. We can get the best receiver in the draft and put all this shit of the Dorial Green Beckhams and the Paul Turners and the Jordan Matthews and the Nelson Aguilars and like all these bums behind us and we can actually get a real receiver that can actually do some real damage in the league if we move up. And we have ammunition to move up.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and tell me that if we called the Jets and we offered them a third next year, a second this year, and the 21st overall pick, that they wouldn't take that. Or some other team wouldn't take that. You know, most teams would take that in a heartbeat, you know? So I just don't believe Adam Kaplan. I'm just not a huge fan of his as a reporter.
I think we need to trade up. I think we need to trade up and come away with at least Ayuk or Rieger. Now, you don't have to trade up to get Ayuk or Rieger.
No, we don't have to.
You don't need to trade up that far.
If we're trading up for CeeDee Lamb or one of those guys.
Yeah.
Everyone else we can basically get by staying at 21. Other than Ruggs and Judy and Lamb, we can literally get anyone else if we stay at 21.
Yeah, I think we don't. Yeah, like there's going to be some reaches. Like, you know, I think the Eagles are going to be smart about it. They don't have to go get they don't have to go too far to get somebody that they're desperate for, because that's what teams do when they start to worry too much during the draft. They jump way too much ahead, give up way too much more than they could have. And then half the time they don't trust certain teams. They don't trust certain teams. So, I'm going to have to see.
Yeah, I hear you 100%, bro. Yeah, it's like I said, I just think we can get the only receivers we need to trade up for are the ones that are going to be, you know, Ruggs and Lamb.
Right.
Other than that, we could probably step whatever we want in the draft.
Yeah. No, we're going to see. We gonna see. I don't know what we're gonna do. Where the hell? Gotta get one of those top 3 guys. We need one of those top 3 guys. Jim is probably not here because he went into a really bad area of his house. I don't think we're going to trade down this draft. I don't think that's happening at all. I don't think we're trading down. Yeah, Jim, he must have disconnected because he's in a really bad spot in his house. I'm hoping he doesn't drop the ball, man. I'm just being optimistic that everything's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Yeah, he really can't miss on this. It's cut clear. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He can't. I mean, Jim, he can't screw this up. Like I think it'd be impossible to screw this up.
Nah.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be.
I don't think you screw it up either. There's too many premium, really good guys in the draft. Even if we stay at 21, we can get someone. Even if we trade back, we can still get someone really good in the first round. So I don't really think there's any wrong answer here, but everyone wants to trade up, and that's totally understandable. People know that yes, you can get a good receiver with the 21st pick, but they don't want that. They are tired of the days of, oh, we'll just draft this guy and we'll just settle for this guy. They want to move up and get a guy that's going to be the guy, a guy that's really going to be impactful for years to come.
Yeah, so Ian Rapport just put something out now that the teams that made the most noise potentially moving up tonight's draft: Falcons, the Jets presumably for a tackle, the Saints, the Packers are always among that are most aggressive. So that's what he's got right now. Obviously, it's either going to be quiet or it's going to be,
Gosh,
I don't know. We'll see though. All right. 114 people in here. If you guys have not, follow us on Twitter down below. Do appreciate it. Both of us. Philly Jim has a YouTube channel, so follow him. Subscribe to him at Philly Jim. On his YouTube channel, covers the Eagles and everything draft related. Free agency, everything that has been covered this year. He covers pretty much everything. If you guys haven't, please like this video, push the content out there, and subscribe to this channel if you guys haven't either, because we're going to be covering a lot more in the coming days with the draft, prospects, stuff like that. So, but I think Jim's gone. Jim is gone. He is gone. All right, guys. Well, I was doing a 2-hour stream today. It wasn't going to be long because I have to go somewhere. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody being here. Trust me, I'd be on with you guys all day today, but I'll have a reaction of the Eagles pick tonight and everything like that. So everybody, I appreciate everybody being in here. Really do. Guys have been a lot of support and do appreciate it. Yes, Philly Talk Podcast. I'll contact you. I'll contact you in the coming day. But yeah, I definitely want to get on another channel as well. So do appreciate it, bro. So yeah, you guys have a really good day. Let's pray and fly, let's fly. Let's get this. I don't know if I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be live. I have no idea yet. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know yet. At this point, I don't know yet. So, all right, guys. I will see you guys later. Shakes got up. Fly, let's fly. Peace out. Peace out, guys. Love you guys.